Nutrition forms a very important part for the growth and development of our bodies. From the time a child is conceived to its birth and growing up years, a balanced diet is required so that the child grows up into a healthy human being. It is here that nutrition plays a very important role, and it is this significance that the Government of India thought it fit to make the month of September as National Nutrition Month. It is to be noted that women, especially mothers, play an important role in this field of providing nutrition to the family. However, we should also not overlook the fact that the woman needs to look after herself first in order to be able to take care of others properly. In today's program, we take a look at the role of women and pregnant mothers and how they need to have proper nutrition so that they can fully contribute to looking after their families well and therefore contribute to having healthy individuals in the society.
Hello viewers, and welcome to another edition of our women's program Karan Pay. Well, today we will be talking about nutrition, and we will also be understanding the healthy diet and whether it is affordable for all or not. Every year in the month of September, it is celebrated and observed as a Poshan Ma, that is Nutrition Month. There is an increasing stress on Poshan, and Poshan on the whole, of course, means the Prime Minister's overarching scheme on nutrition, and this is especially targeted to children under 6 years of age, to pregnant mothers as well as to lactating mothers and their nutritional needs and their wants. And well, this time it is Poshan 2.0, where there is a lot of stress. The theme this time is on nutrition-rich India, educated India and empowered India. That's the theme, and there is a lot of stress on how to tackle malnourishment or make India more capable as well as more nutritious in their dietary habits. So to talk about this today, we are being joined in our studios by two of our experts, by two of our panelists who will be giving us information, and we are joined right away. To my immediate left is Olivia Christie Nongbri. She is the District Program Officer of ICDS, that is Integrated Child Development Services, and she is attached to West Khasi Hills. We are also being joined by Evangeline Wankar, and she is a dietitian. So there you have it. We will be talking to them. A very, very warm welcome to both of you to this program. And as we have kept the topic, that is healthy diet, affordable to all. I would like to begin with you, Evangeline, since you are a dietitian.
Yes.
What is your understanding of a good, wholesome diet?
So to me, a healthy diet is, having all the nutrients, where it comes first from the carbohydrate, the protein, fiber, fats, healthy fats, right? So getting all these kind of food in the diet, in the meal, in the proper meal, that is what a healthy diet is in that.
Yeah. And I come to you, Olivia, when we are talking about diet, is it affordable? You know, diet is affordable, or do we have these misconceptions that diet sometimes is a proper, nutritious diet is expensive? Is that a misconception, you think?
I believe so, that it is a misconception, because diet can be affordable even if you come from a low income group,
Right.
because there is a variety of food items that we have. It is what we need to know is that we need to do a lot of food mapping as per base of the context of the family, or that home,
Right.
or that village that she belongs to or he belongs to. And when we do a food mapping, we will find that food is actually affordable, and it can have that diet diversity that which we are looking for.
Absolutely. So you agree to that, Evangeline, that
Yes.
healthy diet is affordable?
Definitely, definitely. Because see, the thing is, healthy diet does not only mean that we need to eat fancy food, right? We have to include foods that are easily available. For example, protein. Let's see, if we say protein, we only think about meat and meat products and all that, right? But we also get plant proteins. Plant proteins are in the form of dal, chana, right? All these kind of things. We have milk, and milk products are also protein. But other things that people, they have that misconception that, we cannot afford that because they only think about that. That is the
They only
non-veg
think of,
items.
yeah, of
yes,
of the
the
animal
expensive
protein.
ones.
Yeah,
Correct.
expensive.
But we can definitely get it in the plant protein because that is very much affordable, right? So that is what they can go for. And vegetables, like in the case of where we are right now in Shillong, right? We get a lot of green leafy vegetables that are plenty. So those are also affordable, and we can also plan ourselves. So that is something that we can also do,
Yeah, we
and
will
it's
be stressing
affordable.
on that, and that's a very, very good point that you have brought up. Growing your own food. There is a fad, right? Even if you can have a small little kitchen garden, you can grow your own food. Let us come to you again, Olivia, because this entire month is being observed. The stress is on portion, that is nutrition. It is a good thing, isn't it? Because often we forget that that nutritional aspect, that we need to pay attention in our food, because we tend to eat whatever we get. Some people I've seen, they will continue to eat only potatoes, right? So how important to observe and to celebrate and to give information about portion or the right nutrition.
Yes, as you say, it's very important for us to talk about nutrition, and specifically the government has identified the month of September as Poshan Ma, or Nutrition Month. This is because we still have problems and issues which relates to nutrition, and for that reason NHED, as we call it, or Nutrition and Health Education, is the main way of imparting that knowledge to people, especially in the rural villages and also in the urban settings. We have to, as we have observed in being in the government, that we have a growth monitoring system where we have identified stunting and wasting and underweight children, and this is the reason. The reason for this is mainly of nutrition. People forget that actually having a good healthy diet, or a balanced diet, or maybe a diet diversity, however you want to call it, actually is good medicine, and it is the best medicine, not the medicine that we take from doctors. If we know how to eat right in the balanced way, in the right way,
we may not require medicines.
We do not require medicines at all.
Yeah, this is so wonderful what you have stated, because let's begin with the children, because this program is stressing a lot to children. The focus is on children, especially below 6 years, because that is a crucial period that the diet has to be focused. A quick word with you before I come to her.
For children, usually nowadays, as we see, parents are introducing them foods that are not healthy for them. We go for chips, we go for biscuits, we
Fast
go
foods,
yes, exactly, because that is easier for them, because parents are also busy, so they don't have that much time. So what is being taken care of, it's not done the right way, right? So what they are more involved in those kind of food which is not healthy for them. So we need to introduce such food to the kids, right? So that is when the parents also have the time to do that. So we need to introduce them healthy diet, because they need to get all the nutrients. They're growing, the growth and development is taking place. They're just 6 years old, so they need to introduce these healthy kind of food, all type of nutrients.
So what are the nutrients when we are talking about children, because children need all kinds of. So what are those specifically for their growth? Which are those kinds of food that is specifically required for children, especially let's say below 6 years?
So we need to introduce them more of healthy protein, because protein helps to build in the growth and development. So like I said earlier, it is not only for the ones who are rich, or all those people who are well-to-do. So even the ones who are not able to afford such food which are good for the growth and development, like I said, protein can be in the form of plant protein or animal protein. So these are the kind of nutrients that the kids they require for the growth and development. And plus with that, all the types of other nutrients like I mentioned, like carbohydrate, fiber, fats, these are also important, because it also play a major role in their brain development and all these things. So that is what is required.
And it should be a sustained one, isn't it? It's not that you give a child some protein once a week and you give some other unhealthy food the rest of the time. We have to sustain this, isn't it, for children?
Very true. I love the word sustain or consistency, I would say, or discipline. What we have discovered in our field actually is that often the mothers or the caregivers can be a sister or a grandmother or a elder brother, because most often young children are left behind, or because when we talk about low income group, they go to the fields. And what we've noticed is that, as you mentioned earlier, that they love to eat a lot of rice and potato, and that is a total of carbohydrates only. The diet for children, as you said, as you mentioned, it is very important, because the consistency and the discipline, we have noticed or seen that sometimes it takes a lot of effort and meal planning actually, and that does not happen.
And in the rural areas, parents don't have time because they go off to their fields and other works.
Yes,
right?
And the workload, let's say the socio-economic aspect of them, they have to collect water, they have to wash the dishes, they have to go to the field and come back, and by the time they come, it is exhausting. As you can see, when you ask any urban mother, if you ask her about planning a meal for a day, she will always get tired. I think she will say that, what do I cook today? What do I cook tomorrow? Tomorrow, not the same thing. But that meal planning is actually very important. And when you do meal planning, you ensure that all the macronutrients and the micronutrients that is required in a plate of a child, that it is there. And often because of this inconsistency, that maybe only when a child is sick, then you do something special. But then it's not done every day. It has to be an effort. It has to be a disciplined. Then only, then
a proper growth of a child takes place, both physically and mentally, as she also mentioned, right?
Very true.
But then, it is difficult, I think, in the rural areas to get these knowledge or information through. So when you are dealing at the ground level, because you are there in West Khasi, you must be, going, and so many mothers must be coming to you. Isn't it sometimes difficult to get certain ideas through to them, because they have certain ideas of their own which are passed from generation perhaps,
very true.
And then to get those out from theirs and talk about modern times and modern methods of nutrition must be hard. So at the ground level, what is it that you all do to make the mothers more knowledgeable on such aspects?
Yeah, so what we have done, at least from the government side, is that we do have platforms in place, that we have an opportunity to talk to these mothers, to speak to these mothers. We have like CBEs or community-based events. These are twice in the month that happens in the villages, which is done by Anganwadi workers or lady supervisors or the child development project officers or the district program officers. Anybody it can take an opportunity to use that platform where we can talk on these issues and teach them. These are platforms where NHED or nutrition and health education can be given, and we also have VHSND, that is also a platform together with the health department, where it's an opportunity with the health also. And apart from these two platforms, we also have VHCs, that is Village Health Councils today, that has been recognized. And this is also a platform where we have headman, SHGs members from different convergence of different departments together. We work together to give education to the mothers or to the caregivers. And this is what we have been trying to do.
Right. Because this, in any case, this portion is a multi-ministerial convergence, right?
Very true.
Many departments are involved in it, right? It is just not one.
Yes.
We will be coming back to you in a little while. But let's go to Evangeline again. Let's talk about the mother. Right? She is expecting mother. She's expecting a child and she's pregnant. How important it is for her to take care not only of herself but of her unborn baby also.
Yes, so usually what happens is when pregnant mothers come into that stage, usually we see a lot of mothers who are low in hemoglobin, low in iron, low in folic acid. Majorly is because of the food they're taking. right? So majorly if when they're taking food that are low in those kind of food, definitely they'll be low in that. And when they're pregnant, and now the food is not distributed only for her, it's only also distributed also for the baby,
unborn child.
right? So what happens is we need to give them supplements for that. So that's why they take folic acid medications, they take iron medications, right? So that they meet that requirement. So they need that in the diet as well, not only on the supplements. So we get that from green leafy vegetables, and to make sure that there is iron absorption in the body, we need to include some vitamin C in that. Because
that means
majorly,
fruits.
right,
Yeah, we are talking about,
correct, right, because majorly these are the issues that are happening with pregnant mothers. And we also see a lot of cases of vitamin D deficiency. Usually is because most of them are maybe they're working indoors, or maybe they don't you know, get that sunlight outside, and plus with the food that they're taking now, it's not being given, right? So that is what it's being seen in the pregnant mothers. So that is what is being taken care of in terms of supplements and the diet, and that is what we focus on majorly. And not only that, like I said earlier, also the protein and you know, for the development of the child and the mother's growth, because she'll be weak. There is a transition from not being pregnant to being pregnant, so they need that growth and development. So protein and, you know, all these types of macronutrients, micronutrients are very important. Like for example, vitamins and minerals that are provided to them, they need that.
And a mother, you know, she's giving birth to a child, and she has to give birth to a healthy child, because that child will grow up. Because mental, you know, the brain functionality when that child grows up also has a lot to do with the nutrition the mother has taken during her pregnancy time. Right. So at the rural level, because, you know, I feel that in the urban scenario things are a bit better, you feel? I mean, there's more awareness, more readily accepted by the mothers, maybe?
In terms of diet diversity, maybe there has, let me give an example, like when we look in the rural setting, we don't see fat, like mustard oil is the only fat that they have.
Okay.
We don't see butter, we don't see yogurt, we don't see ghee, because of their low income group.
Right.
Whereas in the urban setting, it is introduced, they are aware of it. So things like that. So yes, slightly, I cannot, without based on research or facts, I will not commit on that, but the people on the urban setting, it will be a little much better, but there are also the urban poor. We do not forget the urban poor. They also have their own challenges. So yes, but then still, if they find there is a way, say for example, mustard or sesame seed will be a kind of if it can't be used as a fat, for fat, and not just even for carbohydrates, or not just rice and potato, but if we can add proteins like dal, like ma'am has already mentioned before, dal, masoor dal. What we see in rural areas is that, in our experience, is that even dal is not there. Sometimes
they don't
consumed, or they are aware of it, but it's not practiced, or it's not a food habit yet. But change in behavior is one of the biggest challenge, actually. So yeah.
So what is the government doing? I mean, what is the government, what is their contribution to that now? Are they providing any kind of meals to the mothers also, to the pregnant mothers, and what are the various schemes that are available?
Yes, under the ICDS that we all know today, but it's also called Anganwadi services now, we have supplementary nutrition program, and this program we cater to children below 6 years of age, pregnant mothers and lactating mothers, and adolescent girls 14 to 18 years of age. So we do cater to them, and food that is given to them is for 75 days in a quarter, so which means 300 days in a year. So, and it comes in morning snacks, hot cook meal, and take home ration. For mothers, pregnant mothers, we give them take home ration. Also we have twice in a week hot cook meal, and in this it has we give food like rice, dal, soya chunks, and there is fortified chira, fortified atta, then we have other ready to eat kind of for the below 3 years of age, like khichdi, and then we also have for the adolescent girls, similar to the pregnant mothers. So we have in this supplementary nutrition program, which differs from quarterly to quarterly, of course, the food items and they are given, but we do cater to them.
It's so heartening to understand that there are government schemes and the government has come forward, but the problem is maybe people are not ready to take it. How ready are they to take such schemes?
I think they are ready. They are aware. Most of them are aware. They are taking the food. It's the mean not to say they've not taken, maybe a few which have missed maybe, but they need to be registered in an Anganwadi center, in a nearby Anganwadi center. That is very important. They need to be registered.
That's a very important information, that all women need to be registered, right? And
yes.
once they become a mother, then that plays a crucial role,
yes,
right?
yes.
You can kind of track them and bring them into that scheme mode as well. Now, talking about adolescent, let's talk about boys. Why are we leaving the boys? Well, let's talk about adolescent boys and girls. Their food habits are really, really out of place. I mean, look at Shillong proper. I mean, wherever you go, you'll see these roadside stalls are making, they're circled with a lot of buyers, college students, young school children, and they're eating food which are not at all healthy, right? They just fill their tummy. They just fill their stomach, and they think that their hunger pangs are gone, and that is enough. But that child is going to grow up to be an adolescent, and for a girl especially, she will become a mother. So where are we going wrong? Which are the wrong things that is going on as soon as you go out to the streets and you see? Evangeline.
Yes, so usually what happens is kids are usually, they're more inclined to those kind of food because it's attracting. So they like to go to those foods, and they're fast food, right?
Yeah,
they get
they're spicy.
Yes, they're spicy, they're tasty. It's all about the taste. So usually they go for that, and majorly more the younger ones also, because they're getting the money from the parents. So that's why it's easily available for them. So what the problem is, they are eating these food, and these foods are not very good for their body, because like I said, they're growing, their development.
It is okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once in a while is definitely fine, because we like to eat something good, right? But then the thing is, if we are taking them on a daily basis, or maybe on every weekend, then the problem comes here, because then you're so much like, you like that taste, then you will not like the healthy foods anymore. So what happens is, when they constantly eat these kind of food, they grow up. For example, these boys, when they take them, right, then they get in diabetes, they get high cholesterol, they get liver issues, and all these things. They grow up to get these kind of diseases.
Absolutely. These are lifestyle diseases which, young boys and girls are suffering from. I mean, how often do we hear these days that a below 30-year-old, I will call him a boy only, I think, or a young man, is getting heart problems and suffers from heart attacks, etc. And these are all nutrition linked. So therefore, as we are almost wrapping up, actually, time literally flies. What is the right thing to do, Olivia? I mean, this is a message that you need to pass. What is the wrong thing that we are doing, and what good thing and the right thing needs to be done when we are talking about nutrition?
I feel personally that nutrition and health education should always continue. It should never stop, but it should be more focused. And it should start from schools and colleges, because this is where we can grab an adolescent girl and an adolescent boy, and the importance of nutrition, not just at that moment, but for when he becomes a mother, when she or he becomes a mother or parent, and how important this child rearing practices is, and in the line of nutrition, because as you said that adolescent girls and boys are eating these junk foods. So unless and until there is an awareness for them, not just for the today but for the future, how it will affect them. So I think that is definitely required, and also in terms of community, those who are not in school, the community, the government is doing its best, and any opportunity that we get where teaching or awareness, as we say, it is still very important, and still the only way
Yes.
to bring about a change in behavior.
Yeah, of eating behavior. I'm
Yes.
so glad that you've brought up the school factor, that, you know, learning begins right from an early stage. Now, quickly, before we are almost wrapping, we were saying that we would love to grow our own food. How is it possible, Evangeline? Because some people may not have that required land also, but they might, again, some people have a patch of land which they need to use judiciously to grow their own food, you feel?
Yes, definitely, because we have kitchen gardens also. We can grow in small pots. We get those when we buy foods, right? We get those plastic containers. We can always plant those, little things like maybe, for example, in Shillong we have jamurdor, we have a lot of these,
Which is so rich in iron.
exactly. So these are the things that we can always do it at home. Plant these small things at home, because it's not that only we have to get a plot of land to plant these things.
Exactly.
We can always plant in those small pots
Yeah,
and grow it.
Yeah, and it becomes a part of a hobby. It becomes hobby. The place looks neat and tidy. And if you have a bigger land, of course, you can grow a beautiful, thriving garden. And
Right.
besides flower gardens, I see a lot of flower gardens. You can also grow your own vegetables.
Exactly, and plus we get a lot of good oxygen from there, right? So that's what it's like. Always a give and take. So it's a good thing.
Right? So, Evangeline, since you're a dietitian, quick word of, you know, a message to all those young girls, boys, and mothers, especially the children too, who are watching this program.
Yes, so as Miss Olivia has mentioned that, we have to teach them right from the small level, so from the school level. So these are the things that should be introduced in schools as well. Let them know that what is a balanced diet, how to prepare this balanced diet, what is there in the balanced diet, because we hear about balanced diet. What is that? We need to understand what is there, right? So we need to take care that you need to introduce foods. For example, if we're taking rice, that is carbohydrate. So we need to make sure that we need to include that in such a way that we have all the other nutrients also, like a protein, a fiber, a fat, because there is a misconception also that, we want to lose weight. Kids, adolescents, they want to lose weight. They want to look a certain shape and size. So we need to make sure that it's not all about, losing weight and all that. We need to eat a balanced diet in order to look healthy. So that is what we need to make sure that the kids are following. Eat a balanced diet where all the things are there. It's not just because you want to lose weight, we want to avoid the fats, because there are healthy fats. You can introduce nuts and seeds. Those are healthy fats. We need to introduce, milk and milk products. So if you don't like milk, you can include, for example, dal and chanas and all these things. So these are the things that we need to introduce, and kids nowadays need to understand that you need to include all the kind of nutrients, not only missing out a meal, right? Because they want to look a certain way, so they're missing out maybe the breakfast. They're eating just a lunch and they call it brunch, and then they eat their dinner, right? So these are the things they're doing, but they're introducing other unhealthy foods in between because they feel hungry, so they tend to go for
So
outside
all the good
meals.
footwork
Exactly.
is actually going down the drain.
Exactly, and they're
I mean,
eating that.
Yeah, y'all have spoken so wonderfully. There's so much more to be spoken, really. But then, as always, we run out of time. But what we understand is that, healthy diet and healthy food is affordable. I mean, that is the first misconception we need to get rid of, because there are so many alternatives that we can grow our own food, and we need to pay attention, especially mothers who pack their children stiffen needs to pay attention to what they are packing, right? Because at the end of the day, it is a healthy society that we are talking about, because these kids will grow up to become healthy adults one day, and they will play a major role in the society as well. Thank you, both of you, for coming to the studio, Evangeline as well as Olivia, for speaking so wonderfully and giving so much of information to our viewers who are watching this program. Thank you so much. Well, viewers, that is how the discussion went today when we're speaking about nutrition and how important it is to talk about balanced diet, the right kind of food intake that we need to have on an everyday basis. The consistency has to be maintained, and to grow your own food as well, because they say that when you actually are cooking together in the kitchen, you're also not only nourishing the child, but the child is also learning something good and will pass it on to her next generation. And a family that I think is in the kitchen more and planning a good diet and a good meal also is a happy family, eating together happily as well. Well, on that note, thank you once again for watching this program, and until next time, from all of us here is wishing you goodbye.